Today I fly Aero Dili, the national airline of the relatively new country Timor Leste. Fly with me to Denpasar, aboard their backbone aircraft, the Airbus A320, and find out what Aero Dili feels like nowadays. I have just arrived on a Qantas flight at Dili International Airport in Timor Leste after a relatively short flight from Darwin, Australia. Dili Airport looks pretty nice, at least seen from this side. The other side tells a little different story, as you will see shortly. After lengthy immigration, I was picked up by my hotel and brought to my hotel at this wild beach, from where I will pick up my story for this video. Get ready for loads of Swiss-German accent and a pretty interesting upcoming flight. Hello and welcome to another trip report if we include this part of the video. And welcome to East Timor. Look at this. That looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And if you wonder where exactly I am, this is the Aero Resort or Aero Hotel or apartments, I'm not quite sure, and I'm standing at the beach, which is right in front of it. I know this is not a hotel review, but let's quickly check out my stay anyway. Maybe it will be good information for you in case you ever end up in Timor Leste, also known as East Timor, at some point. My room was massive, it could easily fit a family of 4. There's a balcony, but overlooking the parking lot. A working desk, and over there I find the living and dining room right next to the kitchen. There's a TV in the living room and another slightly bulkier CRT television in the bedroom. I haven't seen that in a while. But now back to the beach. If you like to skip this part and want to go straight to the flight review, just skip forward 30 seconds. This beach here where I am now is actually right in the capital of Timor Leste, in Dili. Hence the name Aero Dili, which I'm gonna try out tomorrow. Hello, beach doggos. It's estimated that East Timor or Timor Leste saw 80,000 visitors in 2024. That's roughly 220 visitors per day. So if you're looking for a completely unspoiled place in Asia, maybe consider Timor Leste. As I haven't found any restaurants within walking distance, I decided to have dinner in the hotel and an early night sleep, as I have to get up relatively early tomorrow morning anyway. After a quick breakfast in my room, I'm already on my way to the airport. I wish I had at least 2 or 3 more days here to discover Dili, the surroundings and maybe even one of the neighboring islands. It's a pity that I arrived 2 days late in Timor-Leste because of a cyclone interrupting my travels when I was in Australia. But hey, chances are that I will come back here one day. Now let's focus on the actual purpose of this video, seeing what it's like to fly Aero Dili. Early good morning from Dili. Well, from Dili Airport to be precise. I'm currently being sent back and forth because I still have to pay a change fee because I had to change my ticket because of some cyclone in Darwin. And I was already at check-in, I was already at the Dili office, which was empty. Then I was sent to a different Dili office at the airport. It's also empty. At the end I was told to wait. My flight is in 2 hours, so I still have time, but it's slightly frustrating. By the way, if you ever end up like me, who has to pay a surcharge for example, a flight change, if you need to look for the Aero Dili office, that's the one, next to the CityLink and between the ATM. I know it's not exactly obvious, but that's the one I was sent to twice already. Change fee paid. Now let's go to the check-in. It looks like the airport is undergoing a remodeling or reorganization and refurbishment because after check-in we first had to wait in some hallway and now we were brought to this certainly temporary holding area. We're not even in the departure area, we're almost outside again. And now we have to wait again for, I think, immigration or security. Actually, what happened next was the strangest I have experienced at an airport in a long time. Together with a few others, I had to board a minibus. What the heck is happening now? I'm not interested in being kidnapped at all, as I have already lost 2 travel days because of the cyclone in Australia. But all good, I will explain shortly what this is all about. I'm airside now, I think, and I got my coffee. But this was so far my most strangest airport experience I've ever had so far. So we were brought with a van to the VIP area, and I think they reorganized probably the lounge or departure area of the VIP area of the airport into the departure hall. So they moved some desks in here, some chairs, but they're full of everything they have. Security, immigration, it's like 3 office chairs and 3 desks. They even have a souvenir shop set up in here in the corner, and on the other corner there is I could get my coffee, some drinks, snacks I didn't see, but I wasn't looking. So everything is here, and even a duty-free shop in this living room cupboard. So it definitely seems that they are completely redoing the airport. I also noticed when I arrived here that it looked very improvised. But I'm just thinking, we were maybe 10 or 12 people in the van, and the airplane is fully booked, so the van must go back and forth like a dozen times. I hope we will depart on time. By the way, where am I going? To Bali. Obviously I cannot show the security and immigration area, but this is the waiting part of the room. And on the opposite side is the security and immigration. The departure hall is slowly filling up, and van by van people are shuffled in. The advantage of that is that there's never a long queue at security or immigration. The downside, there's only one toilet. And I just had a black coffee on empty stomach. And well, I'm not going into details now. But enough of blah blah, let's finally woohoo! Boarding was conducted my favorite way, by a slow walk to the plane, under blue sky and the aircraft beautifully lighted by the sun. The colors and star you see on the tail represents a part of the national flag of Timor Leste. After a friendly welcome, I got a first glance at my seat, which didn't look too promising, unfortunately. Welcome aboard Aero Dili. I'm here in the very last row, and somehow I already regret because it's so tight. I was actually offered an emergency exit row, but because I wanted to have a good view and not a wing obstructing my view, I decided to go for the last row. Well, I show you why I'm regretting it. Well, that's the non-existent legroom. Overhead I find individual reading lights and air fans. I just asked the cabin attendant if there's like a seat with an extra seat next to me that is not occupied, so I would have a bit more space. The response was that the plane is completely full, so they have no 2 seats next to each other that are empty. The ground staff at the airport, like the check-in and security and even immigration, they're all super friendly. The cabin crew is super friendly as well, but the legroom, I'm sorry, is not acceptable for me, at least from my perspective and with my 1.92 m. And I was really hoping I would like Aero Dili. They have mixed reputation if you look online, like on YouTube. So I was hoping to do a very positive review. So far positive is the crew, like I said, but not the comfort. But we haven't even left yet, so maybe there will be a lot of positive surprises, which I really hope. Let's have a look at the Aero Dili A320 safety card. It's not this one, but this one here. That other leaflet is a multi-faith prayer card, which may be calming for nervous flyers. Otherwise, I also find this Timor Leste visitor guide not very extensive, but maybe just not yet. And finally, there's also an air sickness bag for the worst case. This Airbus A320 has a small business class in the front, and the main cabin looks like this. By the way, did you know that Portuguese is one of the official languages in Timor Leste?
Cintura de segurança. No cinto de segurança no cinturão secure all masks first, followed by others. Mask oxigênio.
We are on our way to Denpasar.
De repente acontece menos pressão na cabine larga. Mask oxigênio semoloset. Mantém-vos no máscara.
Bye bye Dili. Maybe see you another time. If it's gonna be with Aero Dili, I don't know yet.
This aircraft has 2 emergency exit doors in the front cabin. Obrigado para a atenção. Por favor, mantenha o eletrônico cerrado. Obrigada pela cooperação.
Cabin crew, takeoff station.
Wow, what a landscape Timor Leste has to offer, from high mountains to deep blue sea. Even though I couldn't stay long this time, I feel privileged to see this part of the world. We are up in the sky and I'm finally flying Aero Dili. The reason why I'm so excited about it is I just love flying these rare or relatively unknown airlines that operate international routes with Airbus or Boeing 737, for example. It's just so fun. Fun, but also sometimes challenging. For example, Aero Dili only accept a cash payment for the change of my flight. So I had to go to 2 different offices at the end to finally pay my change. And actually only around 2.5 hours before this flight, I got it confirmed that I can be on it. But I guess that's all part of the fun of flying these relatively unknown airlines. Flight time today, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's around 1.5 hours. I just realized I might not be able to lower the table. I have to try. Well, I can, but then my neighbor cannot. I'll need to find a way. All good, like that, everybody can lower the table. Well, I'm too big for aviation. The problem is, it's my hobby, so what shall I do? And because I'm stuck in this corner, I might also have to skip the loo review. I personally don't mind, and I hope you will forgive me if you were looking forward to that. The seats are reclinable with this bottom, but not my seat, because I'm in the last row and right behind my seat is the bulkhead, so it prevents leaning backwards. Otherwise, I can see that many seats are reclined, so you can expect that when you book Aero Dili that you can recline the backrest. The economy class cabin is in a standard 3-3 layout, which is normal for the Airbus A320, and there is a business class in the front. I have not seen it because I bought it in the back, but I believe it's a 2-2 business class. Maybe I will see it when I disembark the plane in Bali. Quickly, a fun story. When I was at the Aero Dili office in Dili yesterday for trying to pay my change fee, everything was done, but then they couldn't change my ticket because the system was down. And then I said, okay, I guess I have to pay at the airport on the next day, which they confirmed. And then before I left, I joked, okay, but then at least I get a free upgrade to business class. And then the guy in the office said, yes. And I said, really? And then he was like, what? So he just said yes. He didn't understand what I was saying. Well, at the end, you see where I am now. I'm not in business class. But that would have been a nice surprise. I can see many people on the plane that know each other. They're standing, chatting. It's actually quite nice. Even though I'm super uncomfortable, I still love my hobby. And whenever possible and feasible, I also try business class, and then I don't have this issue with the legroom. Here it is, the infamous Aero Dili in-flight catering. And if you have ever watched Josh Cahill's flight review about Aero Dili, then you know why infamous. I was told it's a beef dish, so not chicken. Well, let's have a look at it. Here we have the beef with broccoli and rice. And then I also got this muffin, a banana, and a bottle of water. So I tried the beef and the rice, and taste-wise, it tastes amazing. Very nicely flavored. I don't know what sauce they have, but it tastes so good. That was really good. But I was also very hungry, so maybe that impacts also my perception of good and very good. I'm quite surprised that Aero Dili offers a full meal, a hot meal, on such a short flight. That's quite impressive. Certainly a big plus point for Aero Dili. And the crew, always smiling. They're so lovely. That also makes a big difference. This particular aircraft has been operated by Volaris in Mexico before, and then with Bangkok Airways in Thailand before joining Aero Dili. So far, Aero Dili is convincing with the cabin crew for sure, with the catering, and also the interior looks like in a very good state. I would say almost like new. My verdict so far is that it's only the legroom that spoils it. And for me, legroom matters. But if you are much smaller than me, a meter or so, then you will be fine with Aero Dili. And honestly, if I was a meter smaller, I would have nothing to complain about. And at some point, Dili Airport will also be finished with the refurbishment, and then it's also going to be a bit more pleasant experience there. On the other hand, it was quite a fun experience. Strange, but fun. Oh wow, I can see they're coming for a second time, I think with tea and coffee. However, I decided not to drink any more liquids at the moment, as I'm a bit stuck here in the last row, despite the lavatory being right behind me. So close, yet so far away. Normally it would be a good moment now to do a loo review, but I don't want to wake my neighbor up. I just checked my flight booking confirmation, and the flight time is a bit more than I expected. It's 2 hours. My plan was to tell you how much I paid for this flight. However, the ticket confirmation doesn't say the price. I'm trying to remember, but I think it was roughly $180. I think it's okay for this 2-hour one-way flight if you consider what you get for it. Well, not legroom, but food and the service is good. Luggage was included, so it's okay. My right leg starts cramping. Now I wish the flight was shorter.
We've started our descent into Dili International Airport, Denpasar. We hope you have enjoyed this flight, and we hope to see you again soon.
We have started our descent into Denpasar. I'm very much looking forward to being in Bali again for a while. And as much as I enjoyed the catering and the service on board, I don't think Aero Dili will see me again in the near future. Because this legroom is not acceptable for me, and before you complain about me booking cheap tickets, I am comparing apples with apples. So just look at my channel and my other economy class videos, and then you will know what I mean. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I booked Aero Dili and I could experience it. Well, now it's going to be a tick off of my list. Welcome to Bali.
Autorização a bordo não verifica qualificação.
Evacuate some all doors and cross check.
Thank you, bye-bye. Well, that was a lot of talking this time, and I even cut about 50% out of the video. I hope you enjoyed my flight about Aero Dili, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, till next time, bye for now.
This is the time of your life. Remember, you don't get it twice. The time of your life.